She said, "My ex will be at the party. If that makes you uncomfortable, you can step out." I said, "Got it." Then I canceled the party and messaged everyone. Plans are off. She decided to entertain her ex instead. Her phone didn't stop ringing after that. I 32 male run a custom fabrication shop. Think metal, wood, and a whole lot of sawdust. I'm usually focused on precise measurements, not messy human drama. But the drama, man, it showed up anyway, wearing a designer dress and dating me for 2 years. That was my girlfriend, G. We lived in this big old house that I owned. My late father and I bought it together. It was my place. For 5 years, I've thrown a huge, catered pre-summer party here. This year's party was set for next Saturday. Deposits were paid, the caterers were booked, and the invites were out to around 50 people, including all our mutual friends. 3 days before the event, I was finalizing the drinks order. G was in the kitchen, scrolling through her phone with that casual, almost bored expression she uses when she's about to drop a load on me. "Hey, quick heads up about Saturday," she said, without looking up. I was writing. "Yeah, what's up? Did you remember the gluten-free cake order?" She let out this big, dramatic sigh. "No, it's about the guest list." It totally slipped my mind, but my ex, E, is going to be there. I froze.
E.
Her ex-fiancé. 6 years together. A guy with money, a guy she still occasionally mentioned in wistful tones. He lived 3 states away. I set my pen down very slowly. The air in the kitchen went instantly stale. "Your ex?" I repeated, making sure I heard it right. "The one you haven't seen in 4 years? How, exactly, is he going to be at my party?" "Oh, he's in town visiting some friends who are also invited," she explained, still unbelievably nonchalant. "I ran into him the other day, and he just wanted to stop by and say hello." I told him it was fine. I walked over to her. I didn't raise my voice, but my gut was twisting into a hard knot. "You invited your ex-fiancé, the one you lived with for 6 years, to a major party at my house, and you didn't think to run it by me first?" That's when she pulled the victim move, instantly looking wounded and misunderstood. "It's just a party, Don't be so dramatic. We're adults. He's just catching up. It's no big deal." She even reached out to touch my arm, but I just took a step back. Then came the line that changed everything. The line that wasn't a question, but a power play. She looked me straight in the eye, that sweetness in her voice suddenly sounding like poisoned honey. She said, "My ex will be at the party. If that makes you uncomfortable, you can step out. You can step out of my own party, in my own home." So she could play hostess to her ex-fiancé and reminisce about a life she seemed to think was better. It wasn't about jealousy. It was about the utter lack of respect. The sheer entitlement to dictate that I should leave my own event to accommodate her previous relationship. I just stood there, staring at her audacity. I said, "Got it." I went straight to the garage. I didn't argue. Arguing with her was pointless. I just made a decision. A cold, clear, brutal decision. The party was off. I opened the group chat I'd used to invite everyone, a chat with most of the 50 guests, including her friends. I knew a polite, apologetic cancellation wouldn't cut it. I needed the truth out there, loud and clear. I typed one message. It was short, raw, and completely unforgiving. Then I canceled the party and messaged everyone. Plans are off. She decided to entertain her ex instead. I muted my phone immediately. I didn't need to see the fallout. I knew what I'd just done. I'd exposed the situation directly to the people who mattered most in her life. G woke up an hour later. She was humming, making coffee, totally oblivious. Then her phone started vibrating on the counter.
And vibrating.
And ringing. Not a trickle, a flood. Her phone didn't stop ringing after that. She picked it up, read the group chat message, and her face went from sleepy tranquility to pure, spitting fury in about 2 seconds. She slammed the phone down. "What in the actual hell is wrong with you? My best friend is texting me. My boss's wife is asking if I'm cheating. You canceled a major event, a catered event, and humiliated me to 50 people because I mentioned he was stopping by for 5 minutes. You made the party cancellation for me, G, I said, leaning against the counter. When you told the host of the party to step out of his own house to make room for your ex-fiancé, you signaled that the party was dead to me. I simply provided the context for the cancellation to the guests. She instantly switched from fury to fake, manipulative tears. It was a mistake. I didn't mean it.
I'm sorry.
We can fix this. Just tell them it was a misunderstanding. I'll call you right now and tell him he can't come. Please, No. I cut her off. No apologies, no retractions. The party is cancelled. The cost of the catering deposit is minimal compared to the cost of letting that kind of disrespect stand. You're not going to look like a victim here. But G couldn't let it go. She was fundamentally entitled and believed she could always bulldoze her way to a win. She started trying to make my life miserable to force a retraction. First, she got her friends involved. My girlfriend's friend, GF, called me, absolutely laying into me. You are emotionally abusive. You're ruining G's reputation. Fix this, you jerk. She's crying hysterically. Tell G that if she's looking for a good cry, she should look in the mirror. I told GF and hung up. I blocked GF's number to regain my peace. The next afternoon, I came home from the shop. My key didn't work. The locks were changed. She was legally living there, but I was the sole owner. She thought she could just lock me out of my own house. I called her phone. She answered, sounding smug. I told you, I'm feeling unsafe with your aggressive behavior. You need to cool off before I let you back into my home. You have 10 seconds to open that door, G, before I call my lawyer and file for an emergency order, I warned her. Changing the locks on the primary owner is illegal. You're trying to constructively evict me. She dared me. Go ahead. Look even more ridiculous to the police. I hung up and called my lawyer immediately. My lawyer confirmed the lock change was an aggressive and illegal move on her part. Don't break the door down.
Go to a hotel right now.
We need documentation. I'm filing an emergency order for constructive eviction and a formal notice of termination of tenancy. We're going to use this move against her. I texted G that I was contacting my lawyer regarding the illegal lockout and that she was to not touch any of my personal or business property. Then I drove to a hotel, feeling cold fury settle in. The next morning, I received a certified letter. It was from her lawyer. She was suing me. The claim, defamation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress over the group text. They demanded I retract the message, issue a public apology, and pay for the lost catering deposit. The absolute, jaw-dropping entitlement of this woman to try and play the victim after locking me out of my house and trying to arrange a meet-up with her ex at my expense was beyond anything I'd ever encountered. I forwarded the letter to my lawyer, who was ecstatic. She just handed us the entire playbook, my lawyer said. We will countersue for emotional distress and the costs of the cancel party, proving her actions caused the cancellation. But here's the best part. We can now file for extensive discovery based on her defamation claim. Then the plot got seriously nasty. My lawyer's office called me, sounding concerned. G's lawyer sent a statement claiming she paid for significant property improvements, specifically a $$50,000 kitchen remodel, which she's using to claim financial interest in the house. She's demanding a payout. That's completely made up. I paid for the remodel. I have every single receipt. I was yelling now. I know, but she produced a very convincing email, my lawyer's assistant said. It's an internal email from your fabrication shop system, sent from your account to her personal address 6 months ago, discussing this money as a loan from her to you, which she claims she repaid in untraceable cash. I went numb. An email from my work system. She had tried to forge a financial claim on my house using my own business resources. I tore back to my shop and pulled the security footage and server logs with my IT guy. Sure enough, there was a single, brief key card entry to my back office at 3 a.m. 6 months ago, logged under my apprentice's code. My apprentice was a young guy I was mentoring, a good kid. I brought him into my office, showed him the log. He immediately confessed, shaking. She offered me $5,000. She said it was just a secret gift for you, and she needed to print a contract off your computer because she couldn't find her copy at home. She had not only tried to steal my property, but had corrupted an innocent kid's integrity with a bribe. This was pure evil. My lawyer revised the entire strategy. We have the evidence of forgery and bribery. We're going to use her defamation suit as a weapon. We're filing a motion for digital forensic discovery on all of G's devices, her phone, her personal email, to expose the communications with her ex, E, and the conspiracy to forge the property documents. The climax happened in the courtroom during the hearing for the constructive eviction and her defamation case. G and her lawyer looked smug. They thought they had me cornered with the fake loan and the emotional distress claim.
I was on the stand.
My lawyer calmly established the timeline of the party cancellation and the illegal lockout. Then, she brought up the forgery. She produced the security footage of G entering the shop at 3 a.m. She produced the server logs showing no outbound email. And finally, she produced the sworn, detailed affidavit from my apprentice, who confessed to taking the bribe and returned the money. Your Honor, my lawyer announced, the defamation claim is simply a desperate maneuver to silence my client after he canceled a party that she intended to use to meet with her ex-fiancé, and after my client discovered her subsequent, illegal, and documented attempt to claim financial interest in his property via a forged email and the bribery of an employee. My lawyer then filed the motion requesting the forensic deep dive into G's personal communications. The judge, recognizing the very serious criminal allegations, granted the motion instantly. G went completely pale, her smugness evaporating into panic. She knew her detailed texts with E, the true reason she wanted him there, and her lawyer-guided attempts to fabricate the property claim were now going to be exposed for the court and the world to see. Her lawyer knew they were sunk. The case collapsed almost immediately. The consequences were absolute, the revenge totally satisfying. The judge ordered a full, immediate eviction due to the illegal lockout. Her defamation case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning she couldn't refile it. And the final, beautiful blow, the judge ordered her to pay all the costs, my legal fees, the costs of the canceled catering, and the locksmith fees. The entitled woman who tried to steal my house and humiliate me ended up paying for my legal defense against her. She was out within 48 hours. I stood there, watching her pack her things under the watch of a sheriff's deputy. She tried one last time to cry and apologize, but I just watched silent. She lost her home, her reputation, thanks to the initial group text, and a pile of money trying to win an entitled game of manipulation. The person who demanded I step out was the one who was decisively thrown out. I don't know where she went. And honestly, I don't care. This whole mess taught me that when someone is that entitled, don't fight them on their terms. Hit them with the cold, hard, legal truth and watch them pay the price for their own garbage behavior. If you thought I measured that revenge perfectly, wait till you see the rest of my posts. Hit that follow button. You won't want to miss what I build next.